Amnesty International is accusing the US-led coalition of committing potential war crimes during last year's operation to liberate the Syrian city of Raqqa from Islamic State. The rights group says there's strong evidence that America and its partners used indiscriminate and disproportionate force and that the impact was catastrophic. Let's go live to our correspondent, Anastasia Churkin, has got more on this. Nastya, hi there. I've just looked through the précis of what Amnesty's got in its 70-page report. What happened last June to October just sounds cataclysmic.
Well, indeed, Colin, this Amnesty International report dubbed War of Annihilation, Devastating Tolls on Civilians in Raqqa, Syria, is a very highly critical analysis of the airstrikes that were carried out by the US-led coalition that involved Britain and France on the city of Raqqa from June to October 2017 in their fight against ISIS. And this Amnesty International report talks of decimated families and neighborhoods, says that not enough was done to protect civilians, and that some of the attacks resulted in violation of international humanitarian law, and indeed talks of potential war crimes. As a result of these strikes, the report finds that hundreds of people died and thousands were injured, despite the coalition saying they did everything they could to minimize casualties.
You know, when you're fighting an enemy that uses non-combatants as collateral damage, you know, it's very difficult when you fight an enemy like that to completely avoid any casualties of war like that. But I can tell you, we have a process that we go through. It's to minimize, you know, civilian casualties at all costs.
The coalition claims that its precision air campaigns allowed it to bomb Islamic State out of Raqqa while causing very few civilian casualties do not stand up to scrutiny. On the ground in Raqqa, we witnessed a level of destruction comparable to anything we've seen in decades of covering the impact of wars.
Well, while seeing that level of destruction, Amnesty said they went to as many as 42 sites and interviewed 112 civilians that were witnesses to those strikes, and focused particularly on 4 families. In one of those families, 8 family members died in one single airstrike, 16 in another, 18 in another, and there was a family that lost 39 members as a result of those strikes. So as the coalition forces indeed do say that they did all the best they could and tried to do whatever was possible to minimize casualties, indeed we're seeing in this report that basically says that was just not good enough, and they have called for investigations and justice for the victims of those strikes.
Yeah, I've been reading through it, just looking through the military terminology, the legal terminology. It's what those families say they went through that really is the toughest parts to read in that report. OK, we'll be across reaction. Be back with you if we get any. For now, though, Anastasia Churkin in London. Thanks for that.